Day 18, meal number 1. How you doing today? I'm doing fantastic. Last night I had a lot of energy. I was after 4 hours of sleep. I was like wide awake, and I had a ridiculous amount of energy. I felt so good. I had to get up. I did a little walking meditation, and then finally I decided, well, I'll prep all my ingredients for that soup that I've been talking about. So we've got that soup going right back here at my little command center. So here we go. It's a chicken soup, and I have some chicken breasts in it. I started this by a couple tablespoons of really good olive oil, then onions, celery, a little bit of peppers, salt, pepper, garlic. Cook that for a little bit, and then I added some kale, some spinach, some Swiss chard, some collard greens, and some spinach in here. And then cooked it a little bit, and then I added my chicken, and I added some chicken stock and some beef and chicken bouillon. So I have my first meal of the day is going to be a cup of chicken soup. In fact, that may be what I have every meal today. I've had such good luck in these prior days, particularly last week, with the soups. The soups were amazingly energizing. And I was really surprised at how my portion size was able to easily come down into a kind of a much smaller portion size. Now, we're typically thinking about, when we get started with eating this way to help our average daily blood sugar, we're thinking about 2 big handfuls of greens. I threw a few tomatoes in there. We buy them like this over here, a bunch of different ones together. And we're thinking about a protein source, maybe something like that salmon. And I would eat just half of that salmon. Half of that is about 7 grams of protein. It's no carbohydrate, it's 1 gram of fat. That might be the most perfect form of protein. So I have some frozen salmon here, and a lot of times I'll make the frozen salmon, and this I would cut in half, so it's about the size of my palm of my hand. I mean, if you ate the whole thing, it would be okay. I cut it in half, and about half that salmon would make a complete meal. Other choices, though, you could have some smoked trout that's canned. If you need some shortcuts, some chicken from a can, some tuna from a can, and a couple of hard-boiled eggs. There you go. 4 to 6 times a day. That's the grand solution to lowering your blood sugar. We need a little bit of fat with that, and so we've talked about maybe 1/8 of an avocado, something about the size of about your thumb, like that. Could have 2 to 4 macadamia nuts or some type of nut. I have my wheel of nuts, and in the middle are the fruit. And so we could add a few of those nuts to that. Now I'm not going to negate my plan by putting salad dressing on there. Most of the salad dressings, even the ones that are very clever marketing, they'll be like low fat, right? No cholesterol. And I love the dressings that say stuff that's crazy, like gluten-free, all right? Gluten-free. Give me a break. I'd be like if you walk down the aisle, it's not as bad as this, but you walk down the aisle, there's all the different types of bottled water. I mean, do you remember the day way back when people said, something, gas will eventually be over $1 a gallon, right? And people are like, well, you got to be kidding me. I mean, at that time, we used to go buy diesel in Mexico for 8 cents where I lived. 8 cents a gallon. Can you believe that? And gas at that time would be like 20 cents or 24 cents for a gallon. It seemed incomprehensible the gas would be over $1, right? And then some people said, someday we're going to buy water in the store in bottles. It's like, why would we do that? The water comes right out of the faucet. That seemed completely ridiculous. But look around now. How many people buy water at the store? A lot of people. Well, what if the water had on the side, low fat, gluten-free? Water's gluten-free, right? There's no wheat and gluten and water. So there's a lot of funny stuff that happens with marketing. It'd be important for us to pay attention to kind of what we're doing, the decisions we make. The habits we form are sometimes formed just by the way that we think that has been influenced by marketing, right? So even the idea, you think about that salad has to have salad dressing. Like we have to dress it up because there's something, what? So like this Swiss chard and this spinach, they have unique flavors. And it's like there's an arugula, there's a collard green in there, there's some collard greens right there. Oh, here's some Bibb lettuce. Each of these are very differently flavored, right? And you think like arugula is very peppery. It's very fun to experience these foods with their natural flavor instead of covering it with Thousand Island dressing, which is mainly like super duper fatified hydrogenated soybean oil and high fructose corn syrup. That just negates our entire plan. So we take something that's amazingly healthy and beneficial for our body and then take it down like 100 notches by adding basically sugar and supercharged super duper fat to it. Our body wants something different, okay? Our bodies want something different. And whenever, we go to the doc and the doc says, well, it seems like your blood work is out of range. We should hear that as like a message, like a cry for help. We shouldn't hear that as a problem. We should hear that as a cry for help. What if somebody in a burning building was crying for help and people all around were like, what is that noise? My God, that person's making a terrible amount of noise, right? Let's call the police, quiet them down. The building's on fire, right? And they're yelling, I need help, right? Police come and say, you have to be quiet. You're exceeding the decibel limits of the neighborhood past 10 o'clock at night. That would be completely ridiculous, right? Well, why do we treat our body symptoms like that? Because it's no different when things are on fire. Like there's too much inflammation in our body that we could say that's like a fire. That's like something's like inflamed. Something's burning, right? Something's too hot. It's too much of something that's too much for our bodies. And we get a cry at night in the dark, I need help. Hey, that's the symptoms that we experience. Our bodies cry for help. And like, we don't want to try to shut that up. We don't want to call the police and try to squash that. We don't want to try to take some drug that's going to diminish the symptom. It'd be much, much better plan to listen and then try to help, try to understand, try to really look into what's happening. Well, that's what we're doing with our plan here. Day 18, meal number 1, we are giving our body really what it needs. So I have a protein about the size of the palm of my hand in the form of a chicken breast. And I have the soup that has been cooking now for about 4 hours because I got started early in the morning. And it has many of the nutrients. I forgot to mention green beans, right? And literally, you can make this so easy. It's not rocket science. Maybe I'll talk about that in the next video. My brother, all my brothers work in an industry where they're like iron workers and they build these specialty antennas all over the world. But one of my brothers, Tim, is also a chef. He's really amazing. And he worked at places like pretty cool places like the Krablunnik in Snowmass right next to Aspen. He would probably say that it is rocket science. It's chemistry. The way we add ingredients, when we add them once something has been cooking a little bit, forms the context of what is happening in the process of cooking. So there is a science to it. But, the truth is we can make a soup by throwing everything together, cook it till it's done. We can do that. And that's what I did here today. I have to tell you, I had a couple bites of it right before I turned this on. Super duper delicious. Easy to make. This soup could be our foundation. In fact, I have friends that have created programs that wrap around soups. I'll send you the info. I keep saying I'm going to send it. I'll send it to you. I highly recommend it. But you can do the soups yourself. You don't have to buy them from another source. I mean, I'm making my own soup mix right now because it's, almost every day I'm working on this. So I have different ingredients that I'm bringing together in a specialized soup mix. If you're interested in it, I'm happy to share it with you. It's a super low cost and easy way to get your ingredients and to shop, and it comes in a nice little package, and it's a shortcut. But what greater shortcut is there than you show up at your grocery store and you get all the green stuff from around the edges of the store and you throw it together with some water, salt and pepper, and a good lean protein source like some chicken breast, and 3 hours later on the simmering type temperature, you've got amazing soup. Well, that's where we're at here today. Day 18, meal number 1, cup of soup. Here it is right there. Soon my body is going to be picking up those ingredients, and joy, just imagine a village of joyous workers having so much fun working away, our trillions and trillions of cells in our body working together, taking all of the nutrients that we're eating and putting them to good use in harmony with our intent. And our intent is to utilize food as our medicine, but we're evolving that way past that. Food is a joyous, interconnected experience, bringing us into harmony with our inner ecosystem and our outer ecosystem, the world around us, people. Have a super great morning. I'll see you in a couple hours.